picture. We have to know the breakdown, so we know the compartments. And we have to study the purports to get the correct understanding according to the acharyas. Because there are many different lines. And we may get a philosophical understanding that's incorrect. Or not our line, it may be correct for maybe another sampradaya. So we are followers of Srila Prabhupada, and he says we are followers of Rupa Goswami, so we are Rupa Nugas. And Rupa Goswami is the chief of the Goswamis, and he's following Lord Chaitanya. So it's important for us to know through the purports how we should understand things. It may not be that other things are wrong, but that may not be our goal. You understand? Our goal is what Prabhupada has given us, and what Lord Chaitanya has given us through the Goswamis. Okay, the three perspectives. So quickly tell your neighbor the process now. The three perspectives of study. So you have a tray with everything, and you have all the charts.
Online.
She doesn't have the charts. She needs to get the charts. So come and get your lead now.
She asked us to repeat from each other because this is
You may want to sit up, but you may want to sit over there. Anand can also be your study partner. Abhijit has come all the way from Chandigarh. You want to take your things there? And last time you saw she was quite tired. She'd just come off a bus traveling all the way to the east just to come to this class. Because she was a preacher. And she goes online and uses her charts. So she's really helpful. So everybody has the chart now? I'll get the colored version. So this last day of the 5th canto includes the overview map of the 5th canto, plus the charts. For these are the colored versions, and these you'll see these on the website also. The colors help you differentiate. Black and white's all right, but you can fill them in with markers. You look online, you can get the color. Okay. So let us take a look. There are two sides to this, two parts to Canto 5. And our first part here. And we use color-coded rainbow sequence. We have pink for the first topic, and orange for the second topic. And then we turn the map over, and the third topic in the rainbow is the color green. And the next color in the rainbow is blue. If you look at a spectrum through light, it breaks up into colors. And you see red, orange, then you'll see yellow, but we use yellow for brightness. And then you'll see green in the spectrum, and then you'll see blue, and then you'll see purple. And some in between them, you'll get partial mix, right? So this is our sequence. So number 1 is pink, number 2 is orange, 3 is green, and 4 is blue. That is a system again. When you're doing everything systematically, you just didn't think of a pretty color that looks nice, you know, it's a system. All right, so on our chart, this is how we read it. SB is the book, 526 is the canto and its size. The numbers here on the side correspond. They'll tell you the size of the topic. 6 chapters, first topic, 9 chapters, second topic, 4 chapters, third topic, and 7 chapters, Fourth topic. Now we will write that. On your map, you write it because writing helps you remember. So on your slates, the first thing we do is we're going to make 4 dots in a row. And we're going to draw a line between them because these are 2 very distinct sections in this 5th canto. And the Rani Study Guide has shown them to be quite distinct, but they're related. Okay? So the first topic we put LR. Lord Rishabdev. Every day you're hearing the chapters. That chapter on section on Rishabdev has completed. Now we're in the section on who? Bharat and B. Right. So now all of you, I'm always thinking of you sitting in class. Are you understanding class better?
Yeah.
You know where you are now. The picture. You hear on the radio. Right. Really in class today. Did you hear it today?
No, the radio wasn't working today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I missed it. I got the beginning Yagya. It was about Yagya. I got the beginning and then I got cut
my
off.
phone was low battery and I couldn't record it and oh no.
Keshi Damana.
Keshi Damana.
Yeah.
Hi.
I heard the beginning and then I got cut off.
Oh, Krishna. Brilliant. Brilliant. Clear as a bell.
Yeah.
Can get the temper recording.
Just like
They're not recording, they're not putting
he was explaining why yoga is important. He said yoga is the process by which we elevate to the transcendental platform. Now normally that verse would have just talked about all the things we don't do in Kali Yuga.
Right.
But he made so clear how yoga, a life of sacrifice, is the way out of material consciousness to the spiritual consciousness. So brilliant. Did you not agree? I was just, where is this man coming from? So, and clear and simple and going on and on and on. You know, just. Anyway, so Lord Rishabdev is the first topic. The second is Maharaj. Right, and we're hearing about him now. Right? And on this side, we have a section called Prayers P. Prayers by the residents of Jambu. There are 4 chapters on Jambu. Description of the island, prayers by the residents, and finally it ends with more prayers for the last 2 personalities, plus those key verses on how everybody wants to take birth. And Bharat description of Bharat. The last one is
Planetary system.
and that's the one we're focusing on today. Today we want to learn these charts up and down. We'll use mnemonics. So you actually know where I am in this universe. Where am I? From top to bottom. Okay. The size of Lord Rishabdev is 6 chapters, right? The size of Maharaj Bharat, because it's 3 lives. There's 3 lifetimes. This is 9. Big section. So you can see very important. He's emperor of the world, and then he becomes a deer. And then it's only in the 3rd lifetime he attains perfection. So these are actually instructive. They're warnings that very elevated people can get diverted. And we're not on his platform. And I don't know about you, but I'm not involved. What to speak of someone involved getting diverted by a deer. Pretty scary. We're going to be hearing about Bhakti Bhakti. So elevated, right? Almost perfectional stage. And then, why do we hear about the prayers of the residents of Jambu? Because these islands today that we're going to be learning, they were created by Priyavrata. This whole line of personalities is from Maharaj Priyavrata. And his chariot created these islands and oceans. So we're going to be learning all these charts. They have a lot to cover. And finally, the planetary systems. This chart, I'm showing you the structure. From top to bottom. Okay. So, this one, prayers by the residents of geometry, we have 4 chapters there. And our last one? 7. Okay. 6, 9, 4, 7. We're going to ask, we'll do it together one more time, and then we'll ask you to do it on your own. Quickly draw your line, 2 dots, 2 dots. Go fast. 2 dots, 2 dots. LR, Lord Rishabh. Underneath, how big? 6. Maharaj Bharat, how big? 9. So we're going to have a long session on the Bhagavatam class. 9 chapters. Okay. Now the second half, the universe is being created now by the wheels. How does this, pre-write this line? Why are we talking about geometry and the planetary system? So here we have prayers by the residents of geometry. That's 4 chapters there. Also describing the varshas in geometry, as well as the prayers. And the final one, PS, planetary systems. And that is 7 chapters. Quite descriptive, all the way from the top down to the hellish planets, chapter 26. Pretty heavy. I was playing out today and inconceivably terrifying. Most people on the planet, that's pretty much where they're going to go. When you hear these descriptions, it's pretty much where they're going to go. Okay, so erase this and write it, and let your study partner check. Try not to look at any charts. Try to do this from memory now. Don't put your charts out. Put your charts away. Don't look at your charts. And do what we just did together. 4 dots with a line between. 4 topics. And the size.
So we are starting Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 5. We divide it it has 4 divisions, and we divide it into 2 different sections. The first one is the activities of the Lord Rishabh, which has 6.
Okay, and when you get double practice here. Ambidextrous, you have to learn the button. Okay, Neela, double check with you. Rasamrita, you check it with Gopi. Establish that this is our first instructional objective by 5 o'clock. An instructional objective is what the student will be able to do. At 5 o'clock, all of you will be able to explain and illustrate the 4 topics of the 5th canto and the size of the topic. So at 5 o'clock when you leave, you will be able to say, Rishabh 6, Maharaj 9, Prayers by the residents of geometry 4, Planetary systems 7, and illustrated. That is our first objective, and we don't want you to forget now, because at 5 o'clock you still have to remember. Alright, now our next objective, because we're focusing on the final section, our next objective is to focus on planetary systems and also on further descriptions of these islands of geometry. Now they are also explained in that first chapter, 20. Their islands, their names, and how they're divided. So first of all, I'm going to just make some general comments. along on your slates. The number 7 is very important. The number 7 is very important for the islands of geometry. For the reason that 7, when the chariot went around, the rims created 7 ditches. How many?
7 ditches.
Right. Priyavrata's chariot created 7 ditches. And those ditches created oceans of immense size. We cannot even imagine when we start to read the figures of immense size. The reason we're going over this section, many devotees skip it. It's too technical. The names start to be too technical. But if you actually diagram it and think about it, the benefit is understanding the immense size of a small universe that's one mustard seed on the head of an antasesh. One mustard seed, one particle of dust. This universe is 4 billion miles, and this is one section in the middle. An immense size of these dvipas, inconceivable. It helps us realize our insignificance and the insanity of the jiva thinking he's God and denying that there's God. Prabhupada said he went to a scientific conference and the first thing they said, there will be no discussion of God. The basis for the format here is there will be no discussion allowed about a God. Now, if that's called science, anyway, so you see what we're up against, right? A lot of preaching out there. So the number 7 is important because the wheels of Priyavrata's chariot created 7 ditches, and these became oceans. All right? Everybody understand that? Now, we'll start to take a look at the general chart. Let's take a look at this one. Because the first chapter of planetary systems, if you look at this chart, you'll see the 7. Let's go over those words again. 20 is about the structure of the universe. What's number 20? Structure of the universe. Second is the movements of the sun. The next chapter is about
Orbits of the planets.
Right, the orbits of the planets. And then the next one is the
Shishimara
planetary system, the dolphin, which include all the stars. All the stars, how the yogis meditate, and it looks like a big dolphin. It's considered a form of the Lord, Rupa. Then we're going to hear about the subterranean what? Heavenly planets, those planets below Earth. They do not receive sunlight, but they're highly developed, but they're for the asuras. And then we will hear about the glories of Lord Ananta, the big, the Lord down there, and this hooded snake, on which this universe is one mustard seed in size on his millions of hoods. Inconceivable. Anantasesh. And then the final one is the description of the heavenly planets. You want to get scared with that one. Terrifying. Terrifying. Okay, let's go over the keywords again. Universe, sun, planets, Shishimara, subterranean, Ananta, and okay? Try to tell that to your neighbor. See if you can remember that. Those are the 7 key words. First was subterranean, Ananta. And the last one is the hellish. What is Full of facts.
Absolutely universe.
That chapter is almost identical. Only this shows it in relationship to Okay, so you know pretty much now key words, 7 key words for the 7 chapters. Okay, how about you? Okay on that? You know the 7 key words.
Universe, sun, planet, Shishuma, Sapere, Ananta, Adi.
That gives you a quick reference. These are below Earth. But they are these planets. And they are heavenly? Yes. In some ways more beautiful. And they're Nagas are down at the bottom, yes. It gets more hellish as you go down. You weren't here for the movie. Did you miss the movie? I was here. There she was. I was here. We were here. The further down you go, the more hellish. And it's hard to believe when it's all been up and down.
You're saying that it's a heavenly planet?
Yes?
But it's hellish also.
Well, their consciousness is... But see, that's what's happening to Earth. They're very materialistic. Maya Danava, distant power, beautiful.
But in hellish planets, there's suffering also.
Hellish planets are below this. Another category.
Those who are
It's just
suffering.
very materialistic. Mystic power. Highly developed. Maya Danava city is highly developed. That's what Earth is becoming. More like subterranean planets. You can see computers and all that stuff. That's coming from those places. Machines, youngsters. Okay? So now let us commit to memory. This chart. Okay. Sorry, we're going to miss you. You have to leave. No problem. Well, I hope you can come again and catch the structure of the universe. Right? Good. You're welcome to take the charts. Oh, yes. Those are yours. All right. So now, this pink block is the whole thing. From the top of the universe down to the Garbodag ocean. You all see your first column?
Yes.
All right, so now what we're going to do these are called, this is called, let's take a look at, so you see the relationship. This little orange box here is this blown up. So you can see how small. And down here you see Dhruva and the 7 sages. Way down here. You see how it is? So these upper planetary systems. Let us learn the 4 names of these 4, these are called upper planetary systems. They are beyond heavenly planets. The heavenly planets are here. This is above. This is where the sages go. Above Dhruva. And we see the pole star. You can all see the pole star. It's fixed. That is down here. Can you see it on your map?
Yes.
Way down here. And the 7 sages below the pole star. So now you see how insignificant we are? Because then when you blow that little tiny box up, Earth is way down here at the bottom. And below that, you see another box. That, I blow that up. That is the Vilasvarga, those are the subterranean. And then the hellish planets, you see those are even below. So do you see how insignificant Earth is? And how fortunate, because this is where Krishna performs his pastimes. So we're very fortunate. So you got the picture now of what the map shows. All right. Now let us learn these. Your first one is Satyaloka, also called what? Brahmaloka. That's the topmost planet. Below that is Kapaloka. So we have ST. For
What is
Satyaloka,
this Y which is written on this side? That is for yojan. The Y, like it's mentioned over there, na 120
yes, this is this distance.
yojan.
Yojanas, and I think maybe this, what do I have in the code here?
You've written the Y.
Yeah, Y means yojanas. You have to multiply that by 8 to get miles. 8? This is huge. Distance is staggering. This represents, well, the universe is 4 billion miles. So Satyaloka or
Brahma.
that's Brahmas. Tapaloka.
At the Satyaloka is a lotus. Satyaloka is a lotus flower.
It's a lotus flower. There's also information we'll study on the Sotra mountain, and on that is a lotus flower Brahma. So sometimes you'll think, well, but if he's over here on Sumeru, why is he also there? I'm unable to answer those kinds of questions. I'll have to admit.
He's on the mountain and on the flower.
And actually, I've heard it said it's okay with this kind of cosmology to say you don't know. Good question. But I do believe it. I accept Shastra. I don't start getting materially bewildered because it's beyond our capacity. How can we possibly compress the universe into these tiny little grains, which are not even a mustard seed? Okay, so Satyaloka is also known as Brahmaloka, and below that is Tapaloka, very high. I've heard Prabhupada said that's where Jesus is. It's in Tapaloka. And if people go there, he can train them to go higher. Okay, below that is Janaloka. And below that is Mahar. Okay, now I'm thinking if I have to go serve to also anyway, I can't think of a quick sentence. I had one, but it was the wrong order. So you have Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Mahaloka. Those are not. These are upper planetary systems. This is the upper planetary system. Middle planetary system. Very important difference. These are the great sages. Okay? So at 5 o'clock you should know these four. What are they again? Okay, take a look at them. S, T, J, N. S, T, J, N. So tell your neighbor the four planets in the upper planetary system, because there are three major planetary upper, middle,
General
the person that was there. Yeah, it's elevated or more advanced. Or more advanced. It's explained, I think, a lot in Environmental Rita. I think it's different levels. Where the sense gratification is so subtle. But they just sit there and meditate. And even that's subtle. Okay, now, do you see Dhruva? Yes. Now that you can see in the sky. You can all see the pole star. You see where it is in proportion now to the upper planetary system. And below Dhruvaloka, you see the seven? Yes, these are the seven. You see the planets of the seven stages. And below that, and I think it's often shown like a dipper in the sky, right? Big dipper. When I was a little kid, we used to look to see where's the small dipper and the big dipper. And below that is the little orange box, which represents the middle planetary system. So let's go into that one now. Because I too used to be a little confused. The heavenly planets are now here in the middle planetary system. And they are above Earth. So put your finger down here on Earth, because we're going to move up. Yes.
Above Satyaloka, which planets are there?
That's the end. That's the edge.
That's the Virja river.
That's it. Of the universe. That's the highest you can go.
Above that, there must be something.
Vaikuntha.
Above that, must be something spiritual.
Oh, the shell. Universal shell.
Universal shell.
Yeah, it's
Inside
inside.
is the abode of Lord, the Shiva. Lord Shiva or Baba
Oh,
Jyoti?
his abode. Oh, Lord Shiva's abode, yes, is beyond. If you saw that movie, his abode is
It's
beyond.
beyond Brahmaloka.
Beyond Brahma.
Yeah, it's outside of it.
Right.
When you saw that movie, how they took you through the whole universe, and you remember they took you into Shiva's abode, and then they took you up further into the Vaikunthas, and then Ayodhya, and then Goloka. That, I'll bring in another chart that shows you the whole creation, because you'll see everything, spiritual and material. This is material. This is our material. Okay? Everybody clear on that now? Yeah, well, it's like shaped like an egg. A universal egg. Golden. Half full of water. Garbo wash. Okay.
It's surrounded
Because
by
now you're curious. You don't understand it.
it's surrounded by Garbhodaksh ocean. This
No, it's in the bottom half. Half full. Okay? Now, let us go from Earth upwards, because it's often misunderstood. There are planets above us where the personalities have more power, but their consciousness is not, they have like a lot of mystic powers, things like that. And you're thinking, why are they above us? It's like in one way they're more evolved, but it's not really what we desire. So let's take a look at what we see here. First of all, in heavy print you see Earth, and then what do you see in heavy print? Rahu.
Yeah.
Now do you remember the story of Rahu?
Yeah.
How his head was cut by the Sudarshan Chakra, and even though he's the most unworthy person of having a position in the heavenly sphere, because of the mercy of the Lord, his head was right. So Prabhupada said if the rocket ships went anywhere, which he doubts they did, he thinks they just went to Arizona and filled the whole thing in the desert. And there are many movies to prove that's probably true. The scientific said the whole thing was a hoax to get money. And there were, even when before I was a devotee, I used to go to underground documentary films, and they were saying that then. This is a hoax. This is just Arizona. It's not the moon. But Prabhupada said if they did actually go up, they probably went to Rahu. Because Rahu big. And above Rahu is the sun. And most people think the moon is close. But where's the moon? It's beyond the sun. So let's say Earth, Rahu, Sun, and Moon. Okay, you got that? Earth, Rahu, Sun, and the Moon is up much higher. It's a heavenly planet. Now, there are major stars, and they are in number how many? 28 stars. So let's go back again. Earth, Rahu, Sun, Moon, 28 stars. Now, I don't have time to play it, but if you listen, if you have your video or audio books, you can listen to that first chapter, and they'll describe these planets, and also in the orbits too. What if they're favorable, auspicious, if they're inauspicious, what effects they have. It's a possibility. It's very long. It's very long. I tried playing it. The length of that chapter on the structure is very long. So we have Earth, Rahu, Sun, Moon, 28 stars. Now, let us go up. Venus is a favorable planet. What's the next one? Venus. Now, when you study the planets in geography, sometimes this doesn't match. It's confusing. You'll see the sun, and then you get the different planets. You'll get, I don't know what the first one is, Mercury, and then you'll get, I don't know, something like that. I have forgotten my high school geometry.
Maybe Sun, Mercury.
But this is the actual description. Venus is auspicious. It can bring rainfall. It's a favorable planet. Mercury may or may not be. Depends. If its movement, Mercury's in retrograde, its movement can be inauspicious. Mechanical things break down. So let's go again. Earth, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury. Now we have 3 more left. That's it. Mars is considered very inauspicious. Mars. Very inauspicious, no matter what. Above it, I want the devotees to know about Jupiter. It's a big planet.
Mars is also called Mangal. Mars is also called Mangal. Mangal Grah.
Because of the fan, I'm not hearing so well.
She's talking Hindi. Mars is also called Mangal.
Like Mercury is called Buddha.
I don't know about that. All I know is what they say. Usually it's inauspicious.
Yeah, Mars is
That's what I
they
say,
say
Mangal
as
was
easy as south. Let's say Mars is inauspicious. Much different.
I mean, I can depend on what house it's in. I don't know much about astrology, but basically it's not so favorable. Jupiter may be favorable, but it says if it has a curved path, not so good. Usually Jupiter is the guru.
Stage.
The guru. Yeah.
Spiritual.
Right. And above it, Saturn. Also. Yeah. And there'll be days like Saturday. That's not considered so auspicious. So let's see if we can go from Earth up. Earth, Rahu, Sun, Moon, 28 stars, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Okay, let's go in reverse now. Come down. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Venus, 28 stars, Moon, Sun, Rahu, Earth. Now, try to say that to your neighbor, because I actually really want you, when you leave here today, you to be able to visualize where we are and how small we are. That's important. How insignificant we are. Very, very insignificant.
Coming from top.
From your
What it was.
now the Saturn is Jupiter. then it's Mars, Venus, 28 stars, Moon, Sun, Rahu, अभी तो
First was Saturday, Tasmaka, Janaka, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Venus, say that first one, something like
what is the dimension of this one?
you make copy that. It's a very interesting and very curious
Okay, now, those of you who have heard the Gayatri mantra, the first line, we'll have everybody's attention now. Everybody's attention. Look at your chart. It's very important. You hear the first line, you say Om, Swa. Now, if you turn your chart this way, you'll see what they're talking about. The first one is Ur. It's very small, right? It's a little graphic. Can you see it's little? That's where Earth is. These are the three divisions of the middle planetary system. The lowest one is Ur-Oga. You see it?
Yes.
It's not very big. Above it is Umar. What's your first one? And the second one, a little bit bigger, is and Swa is the big one. You see? Swargaloka. So when they, in the Vedas, when they do ritualistic ceremonies, they want to go to where? Swargaloka. So Swargaloka starts here with the sun. Does everybody follow them?
Yes.
So these are your heavenly when someone says, Swargaloka. But this is above. You see these over here, these are above Swarga. This is upper planetary system. This is middle, which consists of, the lowest one is Ur, then Umar, a little bit bigger, and then the highest is what? Swargaloka. Everybody clear on that?
Yes.
Now let's take a look at in this boobar because it's bewildering. At the bottom, right above Earth, you'll see ghosts, rakshasas, yakshas. And I asked my friend about this, who's an expert, Rasheshwar. He said their mystic powers are developed, but their consciousness is not. No, not so much. But you can see here, rakshasas, ghosts, etc. You see that right there?
Yes.
Right above Earth. Now that's Bhubar. And above that, you get the Siddhas, they have perfection, Charanas, and Vidyadharas. So that's Bhubar. And then above that, you have Svarga, Loka. Can you see now where you are? From the sun on up. Up to sun.
Sun comes
And
into
we all have a picture of this now?
Yes.
You understand our universe a little better. Rahu is, I'm not so sure about that. Looks like it's right on the edge. I don't know. Who's Rahu?
Sun is in the Swargaloka.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but this doesn't work. Does it work if everybody else? If you wish to speak, you should indicate and wait to be acknowledged because it's quite disruptive. Now we had 7 people calling up. Normally we don't have this. It doesn't work. If you wish to say something, you should wait to be acknowledged. Because everybody's acting like 3-year-olds. That's what they do. You want to do that? Do you like it when everybody was yelling? How did it feel? It felt hellish, didn't it? It is hellish. It's certainly not civilized. Okay. Yeah, it's just like me. So let us now go on because we have a lot to cover. Right? Some questions I cannot answer actually. But most things are here in your chart. The important thing is to know upper planetary system, middle. And these are Svargaloka, then Bhubar, and below that. And below that, we go to this last column, which is called Bila Svarga. Because notice they say Svarga. Svarga means heavenly, doesn't it? These are the subterranean heavenly planets. Now I'm going to give you a memory code for this. ABSTMRP. And we have a little sentence for this. A is for always. What's A for?
Always.
V is for venerate. That means honor.
Venerate.
Always venerate. S is for Sham. What's S for?
Sham.
Always venerate Sham. T is for thee.
Thee.
Always venerate Sham, thee. M is for most.
Most.
Always venerate Sham, thee most. R. Respectable.
Respectable.
B. Personality.
Personality.
Always venerate Sham.
The most
Respectable
respectable
personality. So say that again.
Always
venerate
Sham, the most respectable personality.
Now we will add the planets subterranean. Bila, Svarga. All of them end in ALA. ALA. Ready? Atala. That's for always. Vitala. Now that's also where Shiva is with Parvati. So you ask me, why are they there?
I thought they are supposed to be.
No, you have to raise your hand to speak. This doesn't work. Normally we don't have time for this. But if you start this, you have what's called a hellish class. No one likes it. It means whatever comes up into mind, it comes out of my. It doesn't work. Let's hold it, okay? Atala, Vitala. I'm glad you're curious though, because you should go home and you should play your audiobooks. These are very elaborately described. And watch the videos again. Our time is compressed. We're trying to cover the universe in 40 minutes. That's fast. Okay. Atala, Vitala. And Vitala sounds like vitamins. In England, they pronounce vitamins. And we get energy from Shiva and Parvati. I think that's where this is coming from. Atala, Vitala, Sutala. Our good friend Bali Maharaj is down there. Who's at the gate? Vamanade. Very good, Vamanade. Atala? Vitala. Remember your vitamins? Sutala. Talatala. Now this guy, Maya Danava, is the one that creates the big cities. Maya Danava. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala. Now below that we get into snakes. Mahatala. This is for the most, the word most. Mahatala. Many hooded snakes. And below that is Rasatala. Serpentine demons. Now you'll also find down there, you'll find in Rashi Kani, the sunset. Well, how are they down there too? So it's quite curious how people can be in more than one place. Atala, Vitala, Atala are for respectable, not down there. Rasatala, serpentine demons, the lowest planet. Atala. Nagaloka, Vasuki, the big snake is down there. The big snake. Vasuki, the one they used to churn the ocean. Let's go up now. Let's move up from Hatala, Satala, Mahatala, Halatala, Sutala, Vitala, Atala. Try it with your neighbor. Try it. See if you can do it without your chart. See if you can do it. This is very good. I'm hoping this, your curiosity encourages you to go home and listen to this. See if you can tell each other. Try to do it with
This is Baladam and Hatala. The demon in this.
Listen to your audiobooks and keep your charts in front of you. Now you can visualize it. You just listen to the pieces, but you can see it now. Where is it?
Many hooded and serpents, they will say.
Many hooded serpents.
No, they will. You say.
They have. I don't know how they manage it, but there are many of us. You can, Kamala, you can check with the 901. Are you doing Gopi? This house should get a picture of our slides.
Always?
Very rich.
Clarify. Always meditation. Always the most respectable.
Okay? Now, below the subterranean heavenly planets are the hellish planets. Sometimes they say 21, sometimes 28. Actually, there are many hellish planets. That chapter is quite scary. If you read that and you listen to the... And the sins are the worst in accordance with... If you're sinful because you're mad, that's the least. If you're sinful because you know the difference between good and bad, but you don't care, that's heavier. Hare Krishna, when the facilitator is talking, you should respect the other people. You're a teacher. When the person is an atheist, the reaction is the heaviest. So the atheist has the most reaction. So again, if a person is acting out of madness, that's punishment, but not as bad. If he knows good and bad but he doesn't care, that's heavier. If he's an atheist, it's the worst. Most people are atheists. Okay? So you understand this? Okay, turn your chart over. We have about 10 minutes to learn this next chart. And I don't think we're going to manage NOD today. That's okay because this is the last day and we have another month to go into NOD. Here we go. Turn your chart over. You have here the names of the 7 islands created by Privrata's wheel. What do you have on this chart?
7 islands created by
Alright. And let us on our magic slates. As you can see, it's almost impossible when you see how small. You look at this chart. When you look in the middle, you see an S. You see the very center?
Yeah.
Right, like here. That is Sumeru Mountain. Right in the middle. You see that S?
Yes.
That is Sumeru Mountain. And that is shown on this other chart, a close-up of Jambudvi here. And even bigger when you get it more close here. Ramapur. But here, in relationship to these islands, we're now going to see how big these islands were created. Very important to know. We are on, here is Sumeru, and this first island is Jambudvi. What's your first island?
Jambudvi.
And we saw that on this chart. This is Jambudvi. And Jambudvi has 9 varshas. That means divisions. How many? 9. We talked about that before. Bard Varsha, Kimpurusha, Hari Varsha, Ketumala, Bhadra's Varsha, Ramyaka, Hiranya, Uttara, Kuru Varsha. 9. And all of these worship a particular incarnation. You remember that one? Yeah. Some of them worship Ram. Some worship Nrsimha, Matsya, Kurma, Pradyumna, Hayagriva. So we did that. But now we want to see what's around. This is Jambudvi, right? So here we go. Let us learn a little trick before we start. On the side of your map, I tried to make it easy for you. You have right on your slate, P, then S, then K, K. I'll do it again. P, at the bottom P, then S, and then S, second one is S, and the second to last one is S, and the middle two are K. So it's PS, KK, S, P. PS, KK, S, P. Erase that and do it again, because otherwise it's going to be a little hard to learn them. We'll do the easy ones first. You have 6 more islands. Jambudvip is the first one, and we are on Jambudvip and Bharatvarsha. That's our Varsha. Below the Himalaya mountains. We're here, we're there. And Narada is the devotee, and Narayan Rishi at Bhadarik Ashram is the incarnation for this Varsha. Everybody got that? That's from last week. Now we want to know what are the other islands, and they're so big, and what are the oceans? So let's put those letters again. P, S, K, S, P. 6. Now, to make it easy, we look at names that we know. How many of you know Kushamanaji?
Yeah.
Anybody know Kushamanaji?
Yes.
Well, one of these islands is named after her. Kusha. All right. How many have heard about Pushkar?
Yes.
There's a famous artist in Iskar. His name is what? Pushkar. Okay. Now, the other ones we have to learn. The first one, you see it up on the left on your chart here? You see this P?
Yeah.
It's called Plaksha. What's it called? Plaksha. There's a big tree on that island called a Plaksha tree. So let's say 3 of them now. Kusha, and this one is
Pushkar.
and this is Pushkar,
Laksha.
and Plaksha. So we know 2 P's and a K. Kusha, and we know Pushkar and Plaksha. It's a big tree. Something like 8, I don't know how many million miles high and how many miles wide. We can't even conceive of the size. All right? Let us do the next S here. And this is where Garuda lives. How many have heard of Garuda?
Yes.
He lives here. And this is called Shalmali. Shalmali. Do you see the little box there? There's a big tree there, and on top of the tree, that's Garuda's house. And so Garuda lives on Shalmali. He wanted to know where his house is. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Kusha, Pushkar, Plaksha, and Shalmali. Now we have 2 more. Not so bad. All right, let's do the other K. This one is called Cruncha. There's something sort of crunchy. I don't know if that's anything that can help you. Cruncha. Okay? Cruncha. Now let's go back. Kusha, Pushkar, Shalmali, and Cruncha. Our last one is, you heard of shock? Vegetable. That's not the name here, but shaka. So shaka.
Even praunch is the name of an animal, bird.
This is a shaka, the name of a bird.
Praunch.
I think there's a tree there also. Most of these have big trees on them. Okay? Let's try Kusha, Pushkar, Plaksha,
Shalmali,
Cruncha,
Shaka.
Shaka. Now those are the 7 islands. 6 is Jambudvip. Yeah, this is a little technical, but let's face it, most people skip this whole section. You're lucky that we're even doing this. Now they worship the Lord in different forms. On Plakshadweep, they worship the Lord as the sun. What? Sun. On Shamali as the moon. Plaksha as the sun. Shamali as the moon. Kusha as fire. Is fire. They worship different forms. Plaksha as the sun. And they go to the sun planet. Shamali as the moon. Kusha as fire. Krancha as, I believe it's water. Water. Yeah, Varuna. And they worship Shaka as Vayu, the wind. On Pushkar they worship Brahma. And he is sitting on a lotus with 100 million golden petals. Okay? Pretty amazing. Now on this last island of Pushkar Dweep, there are a few names here you have to, I know it's technical, but honest, I know if you weren't here, I don't think you'd ever bother to do this. Would you ever bother to do this? You see this island on the left, Pushkar, you see it?
Yeah.
It has a dotted line. Looks like a railroad track. Who knows what this is? You know what that is? It's a mountain, and guess what's going on the track? Anybody knows what's going on the track?
Sorry?
The sun chariot.
Golden.
Yes. You see that? It's called Mano Satara Mountain. And the sun is going around on this track on one wheel, like a monorail. This is a big monorail. And what island is it on?
Pushkar.
Pushkar Dweep. And it's called Manasatara Mountain. And the sun chariot is going around at 16,000 miles per second. How fast?
16,000 miles per second.
So when you see the sun up in the morning in the sky, you'll know how fast it's moving. How fast is it moving?
16,000 miles per second.
Is that fast?
Very fast.
That's very fast. And it's on one wheel. And in front of it are 60,000 little people the size of your thumb.
16 or 60?
60,000 little people the size of a thumb glorifying the sun god. It's amazing.
They're on the chariot or in front?
Outside in front.
Like really
It's fascinating. You should really get into this. Read these chapters. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. So what's Manasatara Mountain?
That's the
Elevation of
sun.
Yeah, it's a big mountain. It's like a rail. It's a monorail. Do you know what a monorail is?
Yes, monorail.
Yeah, people go on these monorails to Delhi, New York, one wheel. And the sun chariot is going around. How fast?
60,000 miles per second.
As fast as you can blink. You see the sun moving in the sky? Now you know how fast it's going. Okay? And in front of it are 60,000 little thumb-sized people glorifying the sun god. Pretty amazing. I mean, it's really fascinating. It's so much detail. The size of the chariot is described, the horses, the driver, everything is described. Speeds, 3 different speeds. Fascinating. There's no way we can cover a fraction of this. But I did want you now to learn one last thing before we go. The oceans. Okay? So when we do Abhishek, what are some of the things we use for Abhishek?
Yogurt, ghee, honey,
Water. Okay, that'll help us learn. Yogurt, yogurt, water, fruit juice,
sugar cane.
Kiwi juice.
Okay, here we go.
That comes in the fruit.
Do you want to learn now the 7 oceans? Yes. Ready for the 7 oceans? And guess what? Each ocean and each island is twice the size of the one before. So if the first ocean is, what's around salt. Now that's the only thing we don't put on the deity. Salt. The next ocean is sugarcane juice. And I don't know if I've written that here on the charts. I think it's on the chart. Sugarcane juice. It's too small. So salt, twice as big is the ocean of what? Sugarcane juice. Oh, here it is in your box.
Yes, let's mention it.
Lakshadweep has a sugarcane ocean, right? And how big is it? 1,600,000 miles. That's pretty big. Next, this we don't put on the deity. Liquor. We don't put that. How big is that one? 3,200,000 miles.
Double.
That's getting even bigger. So the first is salt, sugar, liquor. Now the next one we put on the deity. Yes, how big is that one? 6,400,000. They double. And the island's that big too. These are getting really big.
64 million.
Yes. Pusha. And that's like sacrificial fire, right? You need ghee. Now, what do we put on next? Milk ocean. How big is that? 12,800,000 miles. Milk. So salt, sugar, liquor, ghee, milk, and the next one is what?
Yogurt.
Well, can you imagine an ocean of yogurt?
What's a fish like that?
I don't know what the fish are. I don't know what kind of fish are there. You can call up and ask. I don't know. Is this interesting? I don't know. I find this very interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how they surf on this ocean. What kind of surf? And how big is this one? 600,000 miles of yogurt. Wow, that'll put the local dairies out of business. Right? And by the way, that chakra tree is very fragrant, he says. They worship Vayu. You've got all the little facts in your box. What about Pushkar? Water on the deity at the end to wash him off, right? Abhishek. You put a little seed and it's raining water. And how big is that one? 51,200 clear water. There's a golden lotus with 100 million petals. And Brahma's sitting on that. And they worship Brahma as the Lord. Did you all learn a little something today? Yes, you got an idea of where we are?
Yes.
Now, you don't see it on this map, but there's one last mountain you need to know. It's called Loka Loka. What's it called?
Loka.
When you go beyond these islands, there's an area where it's all gold. And everything disappears when they see that. Nobody lives there. The surface is solid gold, so shiny, no one's there. And Loka Loka is the mountain beyond which there are no people. Nobody's beyond that. Loka Loka. And it's as far as the sun will go, the rays of the sun will go. After that, it's darkness. So actually, the universe, the sun only goes up to about 2 billion miles from middle to sides. 1 billion beyond, and on either side, 1 billion beyond, it's just no sun. The Loka Loka mountain, you should know that one. Loka? Mountain. And this other one, Mano Satura, is the monorail with the sun chariot. So now in the morning when you see the sun, you know how fast it's going? When you do your Gayatri, you'll know Om, and you'll think, oh, there are the higher stages. And they're in Mahar, Jana, Tapa, and Brahma. So I hope today that you got a big picture of it. Okay? Once you come to this job, put your things away. If you had the bar charts, please return them. Return the little pink books. We didn't get into it. I think you can see we had a lot to cover. In a very covering 4 billion miles in about 40 minutes. It's a little fast. Next time we want to get right on to that with NOD. And we have 6th canto next time.
Yes.
19 chapters, not so big. And I don't have mine maps for that. There's a gap, but and I can't promise much right now. I'm trying to make a medical adjustment. We can still make our own maps. Try to keep your mind refreshed. Go home, play your audiobooks. You will now be curious. You listen to these chapters, especially today, the planetary systems. You listen to this on your audiobook. Okay? Thank you for coming on a hot day. And really, this is something that they don't do in Bhagavatam class.
Yes.
Right? Normally they skip over this. But now you have an understanding. Try to share it with someone.